No, so I watched the highlights of the Lakers game last night because the Kraken play the Avs. So my wife and I always go to war. She was wearing a Kraken jersey and I was wearing my Avs jersey. And the Avs won. It was sick. It was awesome. Nathan McKinnon, baby. Yoel
My
Kiranta.
wife sits there and she's like, that's so crazy. Like LeBron shoots a three. She's like, that's so crazy. And I'm like, what's crazy? And she's like, that he threw the ball that far into like that little hole. Like,
I mean, if
crazy.
you think about it, it is kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
But I was like, NFL players do crazy stuff all the time, and you think it's stupid. And she's like, yeah, but it's not the same.
Yeah, but Ashlyn doesn't like the NFL either. Just find the sport that your wife enjoys watching.
And then she was like, oh, what did she say? And then it was just ridiculous trying to watch this game. She came and watched like the fourth quarter with me, and it was just like, she was like, do you think that basketball players are more athletic or football players are more athletic? And I'm like,
good question.
I don't know. I've never thought about that.
That's a question that always comes up with hockey because
I think if you look at athleticism, it would be NBA, but like pure strength and
yeah, it's different.
I don't know. Wide receivers are crazy athletic,
but like
the cornerbacks.
This conversation always comes up about hockey because I feel like of all the major four professional sports, hockey players wouldn't probably. I'm not saying they'd be like professionals in every other sport, but they're athletic enough that they'd be all right in every other sport. You cannot have most football players play hockey. You can't have most other professional athletes play hockey because you have this entire other skill set and just needing to be good at skating to even attempt the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the NBA, I would say toughest sport to just walk in and play hockey. Then I'm going baseball because it's crazy to me how many people struggle to throw and then bat. Is just it's one of those things, again, it has nothing to do with
I feel like you're biased.
No. It has nothing to do with this sport. It
biased.
makes it a better sport. I'm just saying, like, many more people play basketball, football growing up. So I'm saying hardest sport to play just for the average person, hockey, then baseball, then football. No. I'd say basketball's the easiest.
I'll give you hockey for the skating, but I won't give you baseball. I would go basketball.
Basketball's the second hardest?
Yeah.
That's a crazy take.
What the hell do you mean?
I think football is harder than basketball.
So that, like, okay.
Because you're making contact every single play.
Okay, to play basketball, though, like to actually play basketball, it's not just about like you can't just be like, oh, hey, I shot like 2 for 15 and be a good basketball player.
That is true.
Make it rain.
Maybe football is the easiest just to like play because you could like just be a blocking tight end.
Right.
Or like a half.
And the rosters are
fullback.
way bigger.
That is true.
And like basketball, there's only 450 professional basketball
Not
players.
at all what this episode is about.
We're way
Welcome to the house. If you need homeless or at-risk youth services, you can take it to my house, 300 North Willow Street in downtown Wasilla. Yeah. Isaac Smolden, Brian Fields. Basketball season started last night.
It did.
Football
shout
season.
Out the Dodgers also.
World Series starts on Friday.
Yeah.
Football season is in the middle of football season. A whole bunch of trades continuing to happen. Hockey had their first Frozen Frenzy last night where I think it was all 32 teams played a game, which is nuts.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, all 32 teams played last night, and they did like the NFL Red Zone thing where they just jumped around from game to game to game, which was really, really cool. The Leafs lost to the Blue Jackets. That's all right. Your favorite team, the Nashville Predators, finally won a game against the Boston Bruins 4-0. And the Avs, after starting the season 0-4, have now won 3 in a row. So nice. I am feeling much better. How'd the Raiders do this week?
The Raiders got one step closer to a top 5 pick, and so their offense is just abysmal, dude, and it sucks because the defense is playing well, but the problem is that they end up on the field for most of the game, and even though they ended up on the field for most of the game again, like they still gave them a chance to win, and they couldn't do it.
Very upset that you couldn't just beat the Rams, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
At this point, the Raiders are moving towards a place that is more and more irrelevant each day.
Yeah.
I want an apology because you said,
here we go.
roast this man. Hey, everyone, roast this man. The Falcons are great. The Seahawks can't beat the Falcons. You're stupid for saying that the Seahawks should be able to beat the Falcons. Well, guess what? 34-14. Defense. Back. Offense. Bam. DK Metcalf putting up a bunch of fantasy points for me. Gino pulled his head out of his butt. Played a great game. We're back, baby. We're so back. Somehow we're still leading this division because our division sucks. But you know what? They don't ask how, they ask how many. It was a great game for the Seahawks. I think I texted you. I said chicken soup for the Seahawks fan soul. Yeah. It was very, very good. Yeah. Loved it. No notes? No notes on that?
No notes.
I was right. Brian was wrong. That's the takeaway.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll lose this week, probably. We're playing the Bills, so we're
all right.
We're about to go right back to 500. Deshaun Watson. We don't want to celebrate injuries.
No,
but
the Cleveland fans sure celebrated.
Listen, it's not me celebrating someone snapping their Achilles. It's all of Cleveland, which is weird because that's their quarterback. It almost makes you wonder why they have him in the first place. Yeah. If your fan base is celebrating your starting quarterback leaving with a season-ending injury, you might want to reevaluate what you're doing as an organization. Yeah. And I don't want to talk about it any longer than that because I will.
I don't either. I don't want to touch it.
I will say things that are insensitive that I regret. Yep, so
sure will.
Let's just move right away from that one. The Saints are starting to look like frauds. The Chiefs are still 6-0.
The Saints are like insanely injured.
That is true, but
like insanely injured.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I don't know if they're going to have time to right the ship because
they're losing dudes every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I shouldn't say frauds. You are correct. The Cardinals beat the Chargers. Suck it, Ozzy. Thanks. Both of your guys' teams lost to NFC West teams. Thanks for that, guys. The Ravens are them. The Bucks might be screwed. The Lions are world beaters.
They look like the best team in the league.
And Russell Wilson had a really good game. And the Jets.
Yeah. Thank you, because I've been holding on to
the Jets had
for my life.
What did we say? Do they have the easiest schedule, like fourth easiest strength of schedule?
Yeah, they do.
2-5.
2-5. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, let's just keep trading away, and we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, this might be a you problem. Time to take some responsibility.
Is it bad that it made me laugh when they targeted Devontae Adams on the first play and he dropped it? It made me laugh so hard. That made me laugh so hard. I was like, you bum. No. You bum.
No, that is pretty funny. Yeah. Okay. Fantasy news. I can't believe we didn't start with that. Man.
Yeah.
You sent some pretty mean text to me this weekend.
Yeah,
well, you could apologize for that.
I'm not going to apologize for anything because you tried to make this thing where you tried to explain how you did this thing, so it wasn't what you were doing, but what you did, and everybody needs to know what Isaac did was snipe a trade from me literally after I was confiding in him on, hey, what should I do with this trade? Because I had somebody on the block to trade Tyreek Hill, and he comes in behind me instead of giving me advice. Instead of giving me advice, he comes in behind me and offers a deal better than me, and doesn't give me any advice.
Okay, here's the deal.
Nope.
You texted me.
No.
You texted me. I got the receipts. You texted me on Sunday.
We're not doing this.
As I'm driving back.
The truth will set you free, Isaac. Just let it go, dude.
The trade was...
You made a dirty play.
I forgot what you texted Carl here. I'm not saying that. The trade that you were considering making was Tyreek for Breece Hall and a second rounder, which I feel like I gave up a player that is nowhere close to Breece Hall and Alvin Kamara.
But you gave up a first.
But I gave up a
pick.
first, and I had an extra draft pick that you had traded me. So I said Kamara, a first and a fourth, which is an overpay for Tyreek Hill, but I love my wide receiving core. You said, bro, help, I'm about to do it. Tua might be back. I said, will your insatiable lust for trades ever be satisfied? Then you gave me a bunch of reasons why you were going to do it, and then it sat, and it sat, and then it sat. And I said, no, that's slightly better.
Not true.
I was
that's
texting
not
you.
True, because he texted me a few moments later and was like, "Oh, I might be getting a first." And
Okay. So I said that's slightly better at 1:54 p.m. and then I messaged Carl.
We're off track. We're getting into no. Okay. Anyways,
Ozzy's gonna have to cut all this. But I messaged Carl. I'm trying to prove my innocence here.
There is no innocence.
I messaged
Just
Carl.
admit it. You took my trade and were like, "Oh, I got something for you, buddy."
Like 2:10.
You're such a liar.
What? After he put him on the trade block.
What? He's been on the trade block since week 2.
He put everyone on the trade block. It was clear that he was selling. No,
Anyways.
I'm overpaying for Tyreek Hill and Joe Mixon because I think my team might have a chance at something here. Lamar and Baker went off, picked up Russell Wilson off waivers, dropped Justin Fields, and I'm starting him against the Giants. So we'll see if the Steelers keep it up. I'm pretty happy. Also, in work fantasy, my team beat yours. I went 3-0 in my fantasy teams this week.
Yeah, good job.
Okay, so here's something I don't know hardly anything about, so this will be interesting. Basketball started last night.
Yes, basketball started, and just in time for me to switch my attention to something other than the Raiders. So Boston played New York last night, and they had their ring ceremony, and then they just annihilated the Knicks. The Knicks also are a very interesting team because they just traded away Julius Randle and DiVincenzo, and so for Karl Anthony Towns, and so they looked really flat. Hart was in his post game interview. He was like, "The NBA needs to drug test the Boston Celtics." So I've never seen anything like that. Like they got shellacked. They tied the record for most threes in a game.
Oh my gosh, they had 132 points? Holy smokes.
Yeah. And then it's crazy because they tied the record and then they went 0 for 13 trying to break the record for most threes and it made in a game.
What?
Yeah, it was wild.
That's crazy. I watched the Lakers game last night.
No, you didn't.
I watched the highlights of the Lakers.
Here's more evidence that he's a liar.
I watched the Lakers, the condensed highlights, the 10-minute highlight package of the Lakers game last night because I told you I was going to watch, and then I ended up watching hockey last night because it was an important hockey game for my wife and I.
But you guys just seen that he was lying, so just throw that out there. Anyway, so the Lakers came out, made history last night. They looked really good in the first half. And then they kind of slacked off. Like their role players came in and they were playing really well.
So
Dalton Connect looks like an absolute steal of a pick this year. I think he's going to be really good.
I have an opinion on this because, and you can tell me that I'm wrong because I did not watch the full game. Right, I just watched the highlights, but they do a pretty good job, I think, of giving you a feel for what's going on. Mm-hmm. The Lakers were beating the brakes off the Timberwolves. The rookies that were in looked like they were doing extremely well, putting up points. Hachimura, who is not someone I've ever heard of before.
What?
Put up 18 points. I don't watch basketball. I know who Anthony Davis is. He had a great game. And then the moment happens, right? Everyone stands up, and here comes Bronny and LeBron into the game, and I'm watching the score, and I'm like, oh, the Timberwolves are back within 10 points. Oh, the Timberwolves are within 6 points. What?
They didn't get within 6 before the half.
Not before the half, but over the court. The Lakers were pounding them.
Yeah.
And then the moment happens, and everyone's like, oh. And then the the Lakers won. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But I don't know. So you tell me. Was that a contributing factor in the Lakers not running away with this one and the Timberwolves making it a game, or did Minnesota just wake up?
No, because I think what happened was Minnesota looked flat, and Los Angeles, who is known for also coming out flat and then trying to put something together in the fourth quarter, came out with more effort than I've seen out of that team in the last 2 years. I mean, they were fighting for offensive rebounds. They were playing transition basketball.
Okay.
They were, and then, so I think that stopped some of the momentum, but Bronny James played 3 minutes, I think.
3 minutes, yeah. And here's what, again, this is the sport that I'm the least familiar with. So I'm trying to put in the work and watch more and learn more. But outside looking in, something that really makes me upset. I'm going to make it about the Mariners again because everything leads back to the Mariners. They had this whole photo with Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. and then LeBron and Bronny. And that is an insult to Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Sr., great baseball player. Ken Griffey Jr., Hall of Fame baseball player, one of the best players. If Ichiro didn't exist, would probably be the best baseball player in Seattle Mariners history.
They came to the game.
And
I think this is an overreaction.
No.
Yes,
it is. Okay. But
1,000%.
I am upset at the media for equating Ken Griffey Sr., Ken Griffey Jr. playing together.
It's still history. Whether you like it or not, like it's not anything that's happened, especially in the NBA.
But, okay, what you look at the box score of this game, there is no one that has less than 11 minutes on the Lakers on the court other than Bronny James, 3 minutes.
Yeah, because JJ Redick is smart. He knew that this was going to be the picture of his entire season. And so he said, all right, game one, we're going to address this. We're going to get it out the window or get it out of the way. And then we're back to basketball.
It doesn't look like he should be out there.
No, he shouldn't.
Then what are we doing here?
I mean, when
you don't get to make, why you shouldn't get to make history when you don't deserve to make history. That makes me upset. And the comparison that I saw of Ken Griffey Sr. to Ken Griffey Jr. to LeBron James and Bronny James is ridiculous. Ken Griffey Jr. absolutely deserved to be on the baseball field when his dad was there. This guy does not look like he should be on an NBA basketball playing surface.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's a little...
I understand that he's probably more worked up than this than I should when I don't have a lot of information.
He's a second-round pick. It's not like they traded up for him or anything crazy. Most second-round picks don't do anything anyway, so it's like a shot in the dark. You keep your star happy. You make history. It's good for the media. It's good for PR. Like it's. Do I like the draft pick? No, but at the end of the day, like I understand why the Lakers did it. I understand that. I mean, it's the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Like they're about having a show.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's what it is. And so now that we've wasted so much time on you getting so riled up over, like they went to the game. That's my thing. Like you're more upset than they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe it's just because I need something to be upset about as a Mariners fan because I can't be upset with them until the season starts again.
Right.
So who quick predictions for basketball now that I've wasted all this time. I'm not going to know what I'm talking about. So just give me some teams to watch out of both
some
conferences.
Teams to watch. The Dallas Mavericks. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if Klay Thompson can, find his shot, dude. He has not been able to shoot well the last 2 years coming off of that knee injury. But he's got us surrounded by talent, and you want to think that the talent's going to help him rise to the occasion. The Memphis Grizzlies, they got Ja Morant back, and so that's going to be an interesting team to watch. Obviously, the Boston Celtics, who I hate with a passion, and I'm so mad that the Lakers let them win another championship. Like, you should have done something. Send a bomb threat. I don't know. But make it.
Wait, hang on.
Stop.
What are you advocating for again? What are you advocating for?
I'm just saying.
I'm the bad person with the fan takes.
We don't let the Celtics win. Period.
I don't think the Celtics are
and now they have
anyone tell
and
them
now
what
they have one more
do.
Now they have one more championship than us, and people are gonna be like, the Celtics are the best franchise in the Miami is always a good team to watch. Jimmy Butler, he's him. You know, I really do. I think he's very underrated. The one team really to pay attention to is the Milwaukee Bucks, because they have.
Yeah, that's an interesting storyline after last season.
They have the team 1,000%. I mean, just with Damian Lillard and Antetokounmpo, like they should be able to make some noise, and especially like Chris Middleton, like the the where they finished is absolutely ridiculous and should not have happened. And it's going to be interesting to see what Milwaukee does if they can't put it together. They're kind of in the same situation that Boston was in last year, where it was like, we have this team, we feel like it's a championship contender, but it's not working. We're not getting where we want to be. Do you blow it up at the end of the season? So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The Denver Nuggets, obviously,
my Denver Nuggets,
they're stupid.
Adopted. Till the Sonics come back in a couple years.
It's interesting to me that they signed Westbrook, and I think it's unfair because now they have a rotation player that's going to play hard and can pass the ball, run in transition, which is what
they already have the best player in basketball right now. So
no, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
No?
He's not the best player in basketball.
I mean, that's not what my overreactions on social media told me when I did the bare minimum of research.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just because, like, I don't know. I don't think he's the best player in basketball.
Actually, interesting game tomorrow, the day that we're recording this, because it's going to be Westbrook back in not back in OKC, but playing against OKC in his first game with the Nuggets, right?
Yeah, I think he's so far removed from there. He's been on so many teams now, it's not as much of a deal, but obviously the media is going to make it more of a deal.
Yeah.
They're also a very interesting team because they're still a very young team, right? Like 21, 25, 23, 24, 26, 26, 22, 25. Like, they're a very, very young team, but they have a lot of talent and a lot of length, and they can make it really hard on some teams. What will be interesting to see is if they have the ability to put it together down the stretch and in big moments. That's really, like, Phoenix Suns are interesting because they have, they assembled this big three, and it doesn't look like that's working either. I mean, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. I mean, they wasted all of their money on those three guys, and it didn't really pay out for them. They don't have a point guard. They have a bunch of guards and forwards, and so they don't have anybody to truly run their team, and so they'll be an interesting team to see if they can get around that, because they weren't able to do that last year.
Definitely the West, I think, is the more interesting conference right now. There's a way more, at least from like a storyline perspective, as a casual fan, there's a lot more storylines to keep track of in the West.
Yeah.
If you're not watching like every game of a team like you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And like with the NBA, I told you yesterday, like a lot of teams play really hard first 10 games, and then they kind of play, it's like the first 20 games are really important for the NBA, and then they kind of slack off a little bit. That's why they brought in the in-season tournament, which is going to be interesting to see how it plays this year, because teams came out and played hard for the in-season tournament last year. But it was because they wanted to be the first team to win.
Right.
It.
So are people still going to care now that it's not like
You're not
historic? Yeah.
Oh, I'm the second team to win it. Like, that doesn't sound as cool. So
we'll see. We'll be keeping an eye on it. Next week we'll have our first guest, I think.
Yes,
because we have on the ground reporter.
Yeah,
going to Bills Seahawks this Sunday.
Yeah.
So someone that's from Seattle but a Bills fan.
No, she's not from.
She's not from Seattle. She lived in Seattle.
Yeah, she lived in Seattle.
But
she's from New York.
She's from New York. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bills fan. We'll see if the Seahawks win this game against the Bills. It'll be a really fun episode.
Also, quick shout out. I want to see what Golden State does.
I mean, yeah,
100%. Their team does not look very good.
No, but you never. I mean,
but you can't
still have Steph Curry.
You can't count out the chef, dude.
No,
cannot count out the chef.
Even when, what do I say again? Even when we're rooting against each other, sports bring us together. I can't wait for the Lakers to play the Nuggets for the first time. I'll watch that game. 100%.
I mean, if they play like
excited.
they did, I mean, Anthony Davis looked like an MVP. And if he can continue to play like that, watch out. Nuggets. It's so funny. He blocked Rudy Gobert, who won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, just end the episode. He's going to keep talking about the Lakers.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.